34, can everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance? I
Student flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
a review and approval of minutes is online. New business. Take it away.
Oh, that was quick. This first one is kind of an open discussion, but kind of encompasses a few things. So we've talked a little bit about, obviously the resolution about the 60 days. I know that was something that we often had a little bit of conversation. Is that too little time, too much time? But I think what I'm hoping that we can also add to this discussion is a little more clarity about all of the subcommittees and their function, their voting policies, and kind of looking at the policies that we have in section B, which I've attached a couple of examples of policies that were in 1980 that haven't been touched, that I feel like we could possibly eliminate or combine to create this newer version of a policy that might incorporate some of the things that I feel like might be missing. So one example is we've gotten stuck many times on the voting issue, what representation should be at the table, and also thinking about, is this an advisory committee versus what is our function exactly? And so when I talked to Andrew about it, which again, I would like more clarity around that as well. He says it's an advisory committee, but I'm not sure that we all understand what that looks like, or maybe that's me, but I feel like as a new person coming into this role, if we could have a clearer policy with more description, I think anybody else going into this position or being on this policy subcommittee would understand kind of the purpose a little bit better and maybe help us function a little more efficiently too. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Along those lines, I'll just add this and then we can look at what I've attached. We were just talking about the resolution and the 60 days. It is a short amount of time, and I think we all kind of agree on that, like that turnaround time. But what maybe you know, maybe you don't know, is sort of the procedures in between. So what happens now that really gets in the way is that after we meet tonight, I have to have the agenda items to Teresa 48 or a week before school committee. It has to be posted and given to school committee tomorrow at noon. So even if we have a policy that we've tweaked, I've got to go home, send it to Andrew. Andrew has to get back to me to kind of give me some feedback so I can put it on the school committee agenda so it can go forward, or I have to he has to stop it and kind of talk about it at school committee, I guess. But I'd love to see us look at that time frame and kind of align it better. So maybe we're not necessarily the first Tuesday of the month, and this can be for the next fiscal year or whatever, but thinking about like, if we were possibly even the fourth Tuesday in the month, it would give a little bit of a time to process all that. And I just think it doesn't make sense with the flow. So yeah, that's something else. Like I thought, if we looked at some of the policies that are old that we might review, and then maybe add the new information that they want us to consider through the resolution, that possibly could be helpful. I know we talked about it, but anything else you want to add about that?
Well, I mean, you're very nice to also do that. So I think what also makes it easier for both you and Teresa, I think should, for sure.
Because one of the things you don't see is like, so if at school committee, we get a resolution like we have, then there's the drafting or the research or the review of a policy, and then kind of even getting legal advice. And then it goes to the agenda. I have to have the agenda items for this ready 48 hours before it gets posted. Then it has to go to the policy, so it's just a lot of process, and there aren't a lot of days in between. So I'm just trying to look to see if we can align it better.
No, I agree. I mean, it's rushed, and that's why obviously the the 60-day policy doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Because it really just, it doesn't give us enough time to get anything done. And there are some days, there are some instances in which it's gonna take us more than 90 days. I mean,
Yeah.
to really, there is a policy that we're truly talking about at all levels. We should give it the right amount of time. I also believe, we're stunted, right? So that 60-day clock starts. I forgot that was an accent. That was an accent. That it starts literally tonight, right? So this is when the clock starts, and then Kristen has to go home, and that's what she does on her.
Well, and I don't feel bad for me. I'm just trying to make it make sense. That's all.
The
It
point of
does
the,
make sense.
the point of the policies too are supposed to be long lasting. So we're
Correct.
not
Right.
coming
No
back
rush.
So and we're not
over
rushing.
and over
Yeah,
again
right.
to redo them. So you don't want to rush it. You want it to be detailed and enough to last, not for 20 years, like some of these that we have, that we redo and analyze, but,
Thank you.
you want them to last a few years, 5-10 years and be pretty well on the mark.
So when we look at the first resolution that's in your packet, and I apologize, some of your packets could be out of order. So let me just say what I'm looking at. Is the policy requiring that 60 days, that resolution should be on top with the specific bullet points and numbers 1 through 5 that say, kind of what they are considering for us to take and put into a policy. And then I attached what I feel like might be related to our website policies. One is from 1981 called committees, very brief, just called temporary committees. So I don't know if that's worth, combining with something else, omitting. I'm not even sure what the whole idea was behind it. And then BCF is advisory committees. And I think this speaks to the resolution because it wasn't just about policy having a 60-day deadline or, whatever it was. It was about all subcommittees. And this is old as well. And I did see some other districts that maybe outlined a little more clearly, like here are the advisory subcommittees, here is their role, their function, their membership.
We don't do any of this.
Well, right, and I think that's a good place to start. It doesn't even
This is
apply anymore.
1980, there's not one category on here that we do
Yeah,
currently or for the 20 years that I've been here.
I wasn't really sure what it meant either, so I was like, hoping that you guys may have a little.
Well, we've never met
Yeah, obviously,
jointly
for
with the whole school committee and the policy committee. We
No.
have members of the school committee
Yeah.
on the committee, but we don't have separate meetings. So,
No.
yeah.
If you did, you'd have to have,
It would
post
be
it
cool.
as a meeting and.
Yeah.
And that's not the intent, that's the whole advisory element of the meeting.
No, and that's why you guys are on the committee and chair of the committee, so we don't have to do that.
So can we look at BCE? So what I've noticed a lot, I think I said this last time, when you go into B, which is governance for school committee section, there's a lot of interchangeable words with committees. And sometimes I'm like, are they talking about our school committee? Are they talking about our other committees? Like the minutes, for example, the last time we did that, it was a little unclear. Are they talking about our minutes or is it talking about school committee? And I think that's where we got some more clarity that it was really just school committee. But so is this something we do have temporary committees, I would imagine, right? Or ad hoc committees type of things.
Yeah, for example, 2 years ago, we had that phys ed committee to
Right.
study the efficacy of returning phys ed full-time to the high school, adding the appropriate number of minutes to the elementary to meet requirements. So that was a finite time frame for that
And
committee.
that would be considered temporary in your eyes, right? Yeah. And then an ad hoc committee, do we have an example that you could share with us about that? I mean, could that be, we were thinking like a curriculum, like a group that, I don't know, we're trying to figure out how to make sense, but those are in different interchangeable policies, not that we own necessarily, but I've seen in other districts. They use the word temporary and then they'll use ad hoc and then there's advisory as different committees.
Right.
I think right now on the school committee agenda, they're all just labeled subcommittees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I mean, maybe just label them subcommittees
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to define
Mhm.
what is temporary versus what is ad
Ad
hoc
hoc,
versus what is
Okay.
advisory.
Yeah, so this might not even be something we even need, but could be incorporated, rolled into something newer with language that talks
Yes.
about our voting or the way we kind of conduct ourselves as committees, right?
Mhm.
I used it too, committees, subcommittees. All right, and when we think about our subcommittees, I know we have to have a health and wellness subcommittee, which we do. That's one of them that's mandated. Then our SEAC is another mandatory subcommittee, right? Works Special Education Advisory
Yeah.
Committee,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's another one. And then we have policy. Do we have any other subcommittees?
Fiscal.
Building.
Oh, right, and finance, yeah.
Building.
Sorry, I know that. And how about?
Building, but I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
we have to-
required.
I don't know,
Building is
I think it can be
building
listed,
is
like
not
I can say
required, finance
required.
is not required.
What about
We have the new
achievement?
one.
Achievement is not required.
What is required?
I only
and
know
wellness.
health and
Health is
wellness.
definitely.
I saw something about, do we not think special ed advisory is required?
There was there's some.
I thought I
I
said that.
think there is some
Legality.
language on
You
that
need to have-
that
you
is,
need to
that
have
is
advisory.
It's not
required.
necessarily labeled WESAC, it's not like that, but there is language, I believe, that makes, we have to have a
Special
a
advisory
special education advisory
committee.
something of the,
Yep, you do.
whatever it's called.
And policy is not required?
No,
No,
I thought that was interesting. I kind
Yeah.
of thought it was, but,
Thousands.
okay, so see, everybody really.
yeah, it's
All
great.
right, so what was the last one that someone mentioned? I got
Oh,
the.
achievement.
Oh,
Achievement,
achievement. that's
achievement.
what
yeah,
it
that
was.
hasn't
That's
met
not
in a while
required.
anyway.
Oh,
That was a couple school committees ago.
Dave Testa.
That's Mr.
Dave
Testa.
Testa.
That's
So
Mr.
that
Testa.
didn't come up in the most recent assignments of committees then?
No.
when you
We
guys
were,
were
we
assigned? Okay,
did a lot of meeting, during the pandemic on Zoom.
yeah. Okay, I remember that,
I
yeah.
know there's a new committee, the community outreach, is being developed, being, at the moment, so community outreach is being formed by the chair and the vice chair. I don't know much much about what they're just trying to get the entire city from Tollgate vets and pull them together and be able to utilize resources and get them to meet and then do stuff like help them and things like that and get back to the community to the extent that they can.
Fundraising committee. So,
I don't want to say, I'm just, I know they've talked about different things.
So if.
There was at one point a technology committee also. The school committee had created a technology committee, and then for one brief shining moment, something called Human Resources Committee, which everybody, that was,
Technology, I remember.
yeah, well, the human resources thing was very controversial, and that person is no longer on the school committee. That was,
Technology, I think, happened when, we started doing the one-to-one Chromebooks, right?
yeah,
Well, for the purposes of today, because we're not gonna have time to do all of this, but what would be helpful, I think, for us as a committee is, could you help go through BCF and tell me if this even exists anymore, or if it's
none of it
something,
does.
and then maybe we could try to put a draft
does.
together that kind of has some language. And then I'd love to talk a little bit about how can we word something on this policy that we all can agree to, that maybe 60 days isn't the right number, or if it is beyond 60 days, an update to the school committee has to be given, something like that.
They might, maybe even something open-ended, like timely fashion with an update to the school committee.
So I feel like,
Just putting a time limit on that, I don't think as you, as
Well, that's
people
what-
mentioned.
No, that's,
I thought we
it's just
talked
not
about
gonna
last
happen.
week was not saying, hey, 60 days is gonna happen, but in 60 days, there'll be a report back.
Yeah.
so I think
Yes.
this will
Follow back.
They come
agree
out
on
a
that,
lot.
we can put it in the draft and then bring it back.
I mean,
Even
I
that
think
though,
we're-
you have to get that on the agenda.
That was the first time.
Even that, you'll have to get
Yeah, the
that on the.
updates. And then
Oh,
that's-
You know what I mean? So you're still gonna,
and that's what we did this past.
Yeah, I think it'll be part of what I sent to Teresa. We'll always either say something like
Okay.
first read, second read, updates.
Yep.
So that way it'll just be part of, but I understand what you're saying, because the agenda is another format that we have
I
to.
mean, there's one line on here, that's number 2, no resolution or submitted item may remain in any subcommittee for more than 60 days from the date it is officially referred by the school committee. That's pretty strict in Foxton language.
Yeah.
That will have to be completely changed. But
Yeah.
if that's the expectation of the chairperson, you know, I mean, I don't know, is that gonna be a problem? Because there's no way we can,
I
No.
think he would be
Get
comfortable
there.
with the 60-day update.
yes,
I just
okay,
want things to not get lost and not,
Yeah.
especially when requested, things that are important,
Yeah.
finance, building.
Yeah, and I think we're recommending what you bring back, and then they could ask for changes right from there, but at least we'll be giving them, you know.
yeah, we can actually just tack right on the end of that line even, without an update.
Okay.
You know, no resolution may stay in a subcommittee for more than 60 days from the date, blah, 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 referred to by the school committee, comma, without an update,
Okay.
rather than completed, because there's no way.
Yeah.
Well, the number of times we have to send it back to Andrew to take a look at it, and
Yeah, there's
just the writing, it,
calendar
the
issue.
wording, all of it.
And
It's
then
just
as far as the, I mean, we can talk about this when we have the draft for the resolution, but on the third one, taking action, I'd like some, do you all, I shouldn't say that, sorry. Do you all feel comfortable with this? I feel like we had discussions about how we proceed, like, are we agreeing to what we're sending forward? Because our role is not to say we are or not going to write a policy if it was given to us. We understand that, you know, but it's favorable action, meaning we're all in agreement with the way it looks going forward. Is that how that
Right.
was to
Well,
be
that-
interpreted?
That mimics what the city council does with its subcommittees. So there are 4 members of their subcommittee now. There used to be 3. And they just take a vote. They discuss it and then they vote, move favorable action or unfavorable action. When it goes to the full city council.
Okay, so that's kind of what I was saying. All right.
Except policies coming out of here would never be anything other than favorable action. Isn't that how we write policy? We write it until we're satisfied with it, and then we send it up to school committee for them to vote.
Correct.
I would think so.
So it doesn't even apply other than favorable.
Well, this isn't just for policy. He wanted it implemented for
That's for
normal
other things.
So that change order, like, that needed,
building.
can't sit,
Okay.
he didn't want that to sit.
Gotcha.
So I think that was his example of it. He did agree after, we did on stage, actually, we actually were having the conversation on
Mhm.
stage, that he did agree that it was, to Dahlia's point, maybe a little too, like, direct
Tight.
and tight in time. I think that was the main thing. He did not want that sitting,
Okay.
for a long period of time because of the consumption for the
I think that makes better sense to me, because I always am just thinking about policy because that's where we are, but okay. So maybe we don't,
We never send them anything we don't
yeah,
like.
okay.
But I mean, we may have disagreements though, then
Oh, of
eventually it
course.
has to, but eventually, like, if we're at a stalemate though, doesn't it have to, shouldn't
So,
it go
yeah.
to the
Yes,
school committee for
and
like
they
review?
make the final decision.
Yeah.
So that's a good
Absolutely.
point.
There-
And then
there's-
recording that for you to report out or whatever, like when
Right.
we're on stage.
So there's that point too, is even if we all disagree, if we want to send it to committee, we can.
Yeah.
We
And
don't, we don't need, like, that, we will say it was done with unfavorable action, but it, like, to
Yeah.
the point
Yeah.
that did always point about the council, because, all right, we get where you're coming from, but we're still sending it to the.
Right, but that would
Absolutely.
be the whole
I
point
think
of
we've already done
knowing
that though.
how the room felt going forward.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We just throw it
we
out,
have to,
start
we have
over.
to let them do that.
all right, that's great.
Because that's what we did last time with the updates, we gave the votes.
We typically around here haven't taken votes, but officially we would.
Okay.
You know, like,
And we would make motions in second.
Yeah.
So if we look at BCF for a second, or second, more than a second, but citizen advisory committees, I know you're maybe seeing this for the first time, but if you could just look at this. Does this ring a bell?
None of
Like,
this
it's
is.
like something we've been doing since
Nope,
2000.
nope, none of them.
It's just
Not any of them. I mean, Darlene, correct me, but I don't recall
I don't
any
know
of
what
this
it-
happening in the
It sounds
last
like it's the rules of.
20
starting
years
the
that we've been
committee.
on this, maybe 15 years.
No, I mean, every now and again, the policies get reviewed, and I mean, I
Yeah.
remember being on a Lucille Motor Costa back in the early,
Yeah.
2004.
Yeah, I was on there then.
You know, so every now and again, we have these reviews, but as far as the makeup of the committee themselves, and we have not had joint meetings,
Okay.
and we haven't done annual reports.
No, that would be, okay. So I think I heard you say, Michelle, the very first part, is that what you're referring to? Kind of almost looks like,
Starting
Starting
a
a
new committee.
so maybe there's something in there when we draft that kind of helps with like what we're doing with, but I don't know, we can
While
look
we
at that.
organized.
Yeah,
Who are the
exactly.
members and that.
And as far as members, if I can bring that up.
For sure.
So we have a policy that says 2 school committee members shall be on a policy subcommittee. So I'm only speaking about that. And then it says, after that, there's no numbers, but it'll say central administration staff. It'll say building administration
Mhm.
and representation from union, WTU and WISE,
Yeah.
parent and student is
Correct.
available, right?
Mhm.
I'm wondering if the numbers doesn't mean that it's 222, right? Because I know what this came up in another conversation that we had where we felt like when we were voting, it didn't seem like it was even. But maybe that's not even an issue now because we're still sending it forward. It's just a matter of representing who's saying yes, who's saying no when we report
Yeah.
out, right? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
we
and as
address
far as
that.
like administration, we try to have somebody at the elementary level, we try to have
Right,
somebody at the high
right.
school level, so it's, it's.
Yeah,
Try
I
to,
think at the time I
Try to
had
be
that
pretty
conversation, I
balanced.
was like thinking that it was a vote to determine whether we're even writing it or going forward.
and we've
Okay.
had students come and go and parents come and go and
Yeah.
nobody ever.
Okay.
Sort of sticks it out, so
All
you're
right,
more than welcome, but it's only like when it's subject.
So no
comes up.
joint meetings. No annual report, liaison personnel.
That would be you.
I think it is me. now that
I
I'm
think
reading it.
that would be you.
All right, so that's something to look at and see what, that might be what I'm looking for. Resources, arrangement for the use of supplies, equipment, personnel
That would
from
be
within
the owl.
this. All right,
You said the owl?
why is this time out so much? I'm sorry.
I'm not aware of any expenditures.
Yeah, I don't have a budget, do you?
These
Either.
committees, yeah,
No.
Yeah,
So-
Nancy used to bring snacks occasionally.
Oh, that's
Sorry
true.
about this.
Moving forward now.
She's on the edge.
Some sort of a hostess
somebody tried to
basket or something.
Try to sneak that one in.
Especially during the Mardi Gras season.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
the
you.
king cake, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. Darn it.
Editing and hostess basket,
Yes.
that is your.
Doorbell, everything. All right, publicity, what's this about? Need the public is
Well-
aware, oh, that's sort of the,
Publicity is taken care of, the school committee meeting agenda.
yeah,
At the end of the agenda, all of the committees and their meeting dates are listed.
oh, okay. So that's more about.
I don't know what
listing.
other publicity is warranted, but
The Secretary of State,
Yeah,
that piece,
website
I'm
too,
thinking the
yeah,
website,
posted
that
there.
might be like something to add, that the agenda has to be put there. Okay,
Well, the subcommittee agendas don't have to be put there, just the school committee.
no, subcommittee.
Oh,
I
you
have to
did?
post it
Oh,
before
all
8
right.
hours. That's part of my timeline discussion.
There you
I was
go.
talking about.
Should
Yeah.
be getting a stipend.
I know.
Just by the way.
All right, citizens assistant to school staff, any ideas?
so I guess the last one, the superintendent gets to form his or her own advisory.
About,
Is that kind of what would? Now I think isn't the, like, policies can come from school committee, but also from directors based
Correct.
on like needs,
Well-
right? Who's in?
We tried to straighten that up a number of times because
Okay.
we had so many, we had superintendent guidance and school committee policy. So over the last, actually more like 15 years,
Mm,
Okay.
they've, we have tried to meld,
consolidate.
consolidate.
Mm,
What comes mostly from administration now would be procedure, how to implement the
Correct.
policy.
We try to scoop that right out of policy.
Yep.
So the,
But I guess I'm asking, so if something should come up, let's use you, Tim, for example, and you feel a policy subcommittee should look at this policy, review it just based on some needs. That's also another way that you would alert us of a policy that needs to be on the agenda. Is that how I understand it?
Does it
That's
have to,
correct.
doesn't have to go through the superintendent?
I would, yeah,
Well, that's
I
what
would,
I'm
I would have a
wondering, yeah.
conversation with
Thank you.
Mr. McCaffrey, and Mr. McCaffrey would probably have a conversation with the chair.
And then they would go to that. Okay.
That's how, I think, a lot of the AI policy is. Please
Okay.
talk to.
So director to superintendent to school.
Well, and then was what Steve and Dave were bringing up. Andrew said, no, they have to write the policy. We just approve it. Building.
Oh, for the building thing.
Yeah, which made me just think.
I
they've
thought it was
never-
building wasn't writing the policy.
David said, no, Andrew informed them. It's their policy. We just have to approve it. It was Andrew.
Well, yeah, I think they're writing the draft to give to us.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we would finesse it, like, kind of, I think, or look
Still have
at
the
it.
ability to edit it.
It's-
No, and I'll give you an update on that. I did talk to Dave about that,
This
the
tomorrow.
pastor, their meeting's tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
and he did say that he said on the stage that we were gonna be late in getting that to the committee anyway, so that will be next time, I guess.
It's on their agenda for tomorrow.
Okay. All right, so in this citizens assistant to school staff, is that something we think even happens then?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay. I think this whole citizen thing is interesting. All right, so
Who are they referring to? Anyway, these random citizens that are
I'd
somehow.
like to say I've
having
been
a
for a while,
voice
but not in
in
1980. I was in
No.
school. All right, so I think from this, is everybody okay with us looking at combining maybe some of these old policies and the resolution and creating a draft of something that's more updated and reflective of sort of our procedures for subcommittees?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
I'd
when we
like
do
to,
that, we're
I'd
gonna
like to
have
see what this reference is.
Yeah.
Okay.
to,
It's a little fascinating.
we're gonna have to go back and then eliminate all those individual policies as well. So we make sure we
Thank you.
clean it all out.
Yeah, there's a few old ones in there. We were kind of going through.
Well, like the
one point
temporary
and
that-
stuff.
Weird through line temporary committee.
All right, so now. If
Oh, Article
Oh, I'm
7,
sorry.
there's this, reference to Article 7 in the teachers, the WTU School Committee, CBA. That's because we have a faculty advisory committee,
Oh,
and that's,
Mhm.
that's just at the building level with, teachers, WTU members and the principal.
so it's still not needed because that's already part of this establishment.
it's
already part of
Okay,
our contract.
this is
I don't
like-
know why, it's not, they thought, because they're talking about committees probably, they did not want somebody to say, you can't have this faculty advisory committee since it's against the policy or something.
Okay.
So I think maybe that's it. It's a committee.
All right.
But it's part of your contract, so it
Yeah.
doesn't have to have anything to do with us.
No, but I mean, it's probably referenced here for some reason.
I'm sure.
Something happened.
I'm sure that's always the reason for half the policies really is because there was an
Something
incident.
happened at some point.
Yeah.
All right, so if
Something
you want, we
nefarious.
can move on to the next
Yes.
one item. All right, so this brings up the two resolutions that we can talk about. Well, we already talked about one of them, which is from last time for about the 60 days. So the next one is about the student participation on school committee. And what I have in the packet for you, there are two packets, one with all of the items you're looking at with the agenda, is a draft of some language that sort of combines some of the policies that Mr. Testa had given to us.
Mhm.
And then you have another packet of, I believe I printed all of the policies that were on the agenda in that folder, but I could have missed one. I felt like there were 5 and now I only have 4. So you have it digitally, but we have examples from Woonsocket,
Kingstown.
Bristol Warren, which they didn't pass, I don't think. That's the one they didn't pass. It was only first read. North Kingstown, Smithfield. The one that doesn't seem to have a name is the Narragansett one that says B students, B student representatives. And it's all spelled wrong. I don't know what's going on there. And then Woonsocket. So I know that Mr. Testa was really favorable to the Narragansett one. And I think our job is to kind of put something forth that we can make our own and feel comfortable with. Right?
Which one is the Narragansett?
So, yes, I'm sorry. So Narragansett would be
Second.
Second. This one.
This one. Okay. Third page.
Third page on my packet. Oh, okay. You said something else.
Oh, yeah, here. It's embedded in the language.
I would write second on mine.
So, oh, this is Bristol Warren, the first page.
Yeah, I think they're all in this second. Or even on this Raffinelli. So one of the things they all seem to have somewhat in common, there's a couple that don't have, one of them definitely doesn't have this, but they all attach sort of a protocol, a selection process, and, you know, that kind of information. And they are somewhat similar.
Yeah, they ended it like May of the junior year and selected eventually by the superintendent, I mean, by the principal of the school.
Yeah, I think we need principal buy-in on that one because
Yeah.
there's procedures that are gonna go along with that, like on some of the policies. You know,
Do you think,
nominated by teachers or elected by their peers.
Yeah.
You know, chosen by the principal, like.
Yeah, and some of them I think had a limit of like 5 finalists that went to the
Yeah.
principal and then the principal selected.
so what do you, can I ask, now, I know I'm cutting you off from reading, but, you involved in a discussion with the committee about really wanting this in place, and is there any discussion about what your vision would be like for having 2 high schools coming together and like what that procedure would look like for them? Especially where there is work on a principal's part or a school's part to have all of this in line, so that every year they're getting nominations, they're getting the application out, then it goes to school committee, all that process. So I'm just wondering, do you envision having X number of students represent that? Or one from each, or how do
I
you
think
see
the
that?
idea was one from each and then ultimately, Mr. Testa mentioned alternating meetings. You know,
The one
so
told you.
one, you know, one told you would be, like say, in
Kinda-
November and then from December, that kind of stuff, but it would alternate.
Probably good to actually keep the kid on board. They don't have to do every single one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that would, yeah, keep them more engaged. That was a discussion. There was never a real discussion about, and the one thing not to pick on the Narragansett policy, but that they had to be part of a civics or US government class. It could have been anyone who was interested in doing so.
They all have a civics
David.
requirement now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
So
think that's gonna
it's
be too
covered.
much.
Yeah, they all have a
You
civics
have to take it over,
requirement now.
yeah, so they're anyway, so. There's no specific language. It's like, you don't have to have a, if you just wanted to have a perspective.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't mind making a joke.
Yeah, so we just take that section right out and just
Especially.
say
because
meets eligibility
Yeah,
requirements.
meets the requirements.
based on the handbook.
Oh, which is also interesting.
Well,
Well,
like if you're
because-
failing classes, you don't meet the
Yeah.
requirements to participate next.
So-
If you're doing it to be funny, you know,
Right.
or you're not
It
doing it
says
seriously.
demonstration of Warwick's vision of a graduate learner quality, so
Yeah.
if somebody's failing all their
You gotta
classes.
be at the top.
And that was something I added that we could remove, but
Yes.
I thought
No, I
we
like
could
it.
connect
Oh,
it
good.
to what we're
I like
doing.
it.
That's good, it's good.
No, it's, if we must do this thing, which,
Do it right.
and, yeah,
We want to take it seriously, and whoever is doing, obviously, they're gonna come through a lot, whatever procedural element we create, right, we're gonna come through a lot of interviews with the principal, a lot of time, FaceTime, so it's gotta be serious, and
It
there are a
has-
lot of non-serious students in this world.
it has to be someone who really wants to do it and is
Yes.
Yeah.
interested in
Who's
it.
passionate.
My
They
feeling
can't-
is it's nominated by teachers. It
Yes,
goes towards administration at that particular school.
I
And then
agree.
if you're gonna bring in kids to vote on who it should be, which I don't necessarily agree with.
You realize this through proms and
Yeah.
they don't take it seriously.
No, I wouldn't do it.
No, I feel that the teachers should be the ones that are involved in nominations. Principals are the ones that are doing all the sit downs and determining, and again, I don't know how many that will be, like how many
Let's
times.
say 5 candidate, like you're gonna have 5 students that pop up more than anybody else.
They're doing,
Then it goes to the principal and the admin team and they
they
pick
do an interview.
amongst the 5.
So you're
after doing
thinking
interviews.
teacher nomination.
That, yeah, I'm just
Top
one
5
voice, but
to
I
the
would say, yeah, keep the students out of it. Keep
Yeah.
it serious, have the
I
teachers
agree with
nominate.
the students on
Mhm.
except for, we've got should be applications for the position will be available. at the
That's another
Gordon.
part that I was kind of
Yeah,
not exactly, I don't think we have applications at Gordon. I think it's mentioned at both schools. You know, and they kind of handle it.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all. But is there a way, there could be some biasness? If it's just like, oh,
I think when you
No
put it out
matter
to the
who
whole
votes, that's what
faculty,
it's gonna be.
when you put it out to the whole faculty, I think you get less, but I think you have to set the criteria, like, we don't necessarily need an advanced placement student in all of their classes. This could be a student that's the Tollgate Titan, the most,
Yeah.
you know, he happens to be, or she happens to be.
The
the
Jacob- the
school
Jacob
mascot.
Well, step one could be, instead of applications at the Gordon building, applications at the high school. Who's interested? Any
Yes.
student who's legitimately interested.
I
in
like
this
that.
Puts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
It
or
will
her
be
name
available
forward.
at
Yeah.
and then the
both
teachers
Pilgrim
Yeah.
and
No, I think
Place of
that's
those
way better.
names.
That shows interest
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is good.
And
so
the teachers can see who's interested, and from that list, knowing what they know about the kids, can pick names to go
Yeah.
forward to, so then the principal and the admin team can meet with who's ever, you said the top 5.
Yeah, so under number 2, instead of Gorton Administrative Building, you just put will be available at both Pilgrim and Tollgate High
Yeah.
Schools.
I know, Ms. Keenan, you're working on something too, that I think I don't know if to take count of the bag, that's gonna help us determine kids' ambitions, what they wanna do.
Are you talking about CTE?
Yeah, but like using that as a guideline, as maybe a application process. Right, because you've already done. it.
Yeah.
It's already there, and maybe bring that in front of, okay, and it's all questions we would ask of a leader, for the community.
Yeah, we can adapt
I
that.
mean, I'm not blowing smoke, but
No.
it's my understanding that
Yeah.
you have something pretty well put
Yep.
together.
what do you think about, I feel like when I did this, so it's March, so it says available by March 1st with a deadline
March
by March 31st. Does that make sense?
No, not, well,
Mhm.
unless we were starting it next year.
It definitely, I think he wants it
Yeah.
to start,
Yeah.
well, but you would have to have the process ready, so they're ready, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I-
okay.
I
then
don't know
get
what-
you're
what's
saying.
wrong
Do
with
do we
that.
need to have it do you need to even have it in policy when the date is? Is it necessary, or can they determine at both high schools, hey, what's a good date for both high schools where we can get this going?
Maybe like
For this
semester,
year,
second semester or something.
Probably we would need to do that, maybe going forward.
Yeah.
We can have March,
Yeah.
but not, if you want this to happen for
Yeah.
next year, obviously you can't. use March.
Yeah.
So
So,
you could simply phrase it as second semester.
That's true.
Yeah.
In the
you
second
know, and
semester.
keep it open for what
Yeah,
works best for each school.
And
My only concern about the whole thing is I never wanna, I know the student's not gonna be privy to any confidential information. But my only concern is most school committee meetings are business as usual, get through, but then there are some, we've all been in the system where you wouldn't want a kid on stage
no,
because you know it's gonna get,
ugly.
you know, it's gonna
Do we
get rough.
dismiss them at that? Is that the job of the?
Well,
committee?
or you have the discretion. I think a lot of us know when we walk in on a particular night, the type of night, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be. It could be a very easy
Yeah.
night, it could be standard business, or it could be a tougher night. I just don't want to see a student up there. In an uncomfortable situation where now we're into the community.
And
But-
Well, that's why I suggested, just like our
Have them
admin
speak
sits
first.
down in
Yeah.
front
And then
row,
go.
the student doesn't need to be on the stage. The student can be sitting in the front row with the admin.
And even either way, if you have the students speak first,
Yes,
and then they can be dismissed afterwards. Then
Yes.
they don't have to sit there for the 3-hour-long meeting and whatever potential. They can stay if they want to, but
I think Dave's
Maybe
vision
allow
is though,
them
that they
to-
get to see the process, right?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, so
But
it's
it
just
should-
us being able to protect
I think,
students.
yeah, I think to your point, yes, some language in there that would be, discretion of the school
School
committee, to say, maybe tonight's not the night. No, not saying that, no, it should be
Yeah.
written, but written to that effect, like,
Yeah.
you know, based on
Yeah.
the circumstances.
there are seniors in high school,
Yeah.
and, some of them, by the end of it, could be fighting in a war. So I think they could probably sit up there at that school. My son used to come,
What is?
he used to get up there
Yeah.
and talk, and he used to sit for the whole meeting, so,
That we use as well?
I
I mean, we
mean,
can warn them, but it doesn't mean we have, it stops them, you just warn them, but this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, it might not be a good night for you to come, but we don't necessarily have to say you can't come, but this is, we're recommending that this is probably not the best night for you to come. Maybe some of these students who wanna see this stuff, that this is how they're gonna be when they grow up, like.
I mean, as a
People-
parent of a child who went into that line of work after school, he majored in public policy and political science and all of that. He used to come to meetings all the time. It's a public meeting. It's okay. It's okay for them to know what's happening. They're seniors in high school. They're gonna be going off to college. They're gonna be marching in demonstrations. They're gonna get it. They know it. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I understand like
think
that
we-
wanting to keep them safe, but
well, I.
They're
think it's-
seniors.
I don't know if safe is, but I understand Tim's point, because if we are in a very ugly season right now with this budget commission, things are going to get uglier. I mean, and at the last meeting, we had someone recording and asking
Well,
questions
always.
just to be provocative
Mhm.
and for no other reason. I don't know if a student would even know everything that's going on. That would, I still don't,
But to witness it is kind of to understand it and know that it's out there, and being part of any kind of political anything. That's
Yeah,
where
I
you
know.
learn,
I just.
right or wrong.
I just think that we used to have, a cast of thousands on the stage.
Mhm.
Everybody was up there.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, no, we don't need all the admin there, but we need them at the meeting.
Correct.
In case we need their input. That's why I don't think we need a student on the stage under the lights. The student can be sitting with the admin, and if the student needs to contribute to the conversation, the student's there to do that. Because there's a lot up there where there are just perfunctory votes, and then there are other votes where you get into like the nitty gritty, and especially like near the end with all the change orders and this and that. That's really not, the student that's even under their purview.
Oh, to Tracy's point, I mean, they can leave.
It's a
they can
governmental
leave.
process,
They
I
can,
mean.
they can stay. with it.
They're interested.
So
in
we'll
it, they'll
add
be there.
language that sort of, but we can add language, but I also think like the policy part, maybe when we interview, like that's part of the screening piece. They gotta be
Can
okay
you take
with
it?
these
Hmm.
things,
Can you take it?
or you're gonna be on film, like, I think we need to be very clear, but that's not necessarily.
But I'm also
our
saying
meeting.
that-
Is it parent commission?
Well, maybe it is, but
Do you need parent commission?
No.
I'm just concerned about, like,
You might.
so let's say that student is fine with
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right? We got two tough skinned kids. It's still the optics. When you have that night where people are screaming from the back row and now you've got the,
But say it gets out of control, Tim, right?
Yeah.
The chair does what next?
Stops it.
Stops it, dismisses the
Yeah.
student. That's really what should happen.
Yeah.
None of that
Yes.
should ever happen.
correct.
Yes.
Right? So like, I
But-
feel it. I know that might
we
not
know it
happen,
does
but that
happen.
really should happen.
It shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
But I think that's also, maybe we know ahead of time and we add that language to say, tonight might not be the right meeting to come to because we'll probably not even get to the things that we're asking you to.
It's just like, it's just language that's there. I mean, we're just wanting, they still have the opportunity to come if they want to come. The language is there to say, all right, if you're the chair wants to contact that member or any member of the school committee wants to contact that member, saying, hey, tonight, it might get a little messy. You might not enjoy what you see. It's your call. This is the topics. And you can make your decision on that, I mean, it's a public meeting, it's a public agenda.
It
They have
could
the right
just be
to.
in this
They
audience.
And he could
they
just
should read it before they
Stop
come
it
to
and
the meeting, just like what we all
dismiss
do.
the student
So,
and say,
I agree with you that.
this is not
It should never
appropriate.
get
You
like
can
that.
get around it.
No.
so.
Yeah.
You just put a line that says,
All right, so.
school committee may release the student, but I mean.
So getting back to this, so we can get through it, we did two, I put during the second semester of the
Watch
school
what you get.
year. And then number three, each high school principal, this is where we started talking about how to nominate, right? We said that they are going to have one respective high school, but this shall nominate, one student from the respective high school to serve in this capacity. Principal's selection shall be made from a list of not more than 5 candidates selected by the teachers.
Yeah,
How do you
this-
want to
this
word it?
says
Application, right?
student
The
body.
application, and
Application
then
first.
Oh.
teachers.
Okay. So, but didn't we already write about the application? Okay, so we put it.
Well, we have
three.
the applications will be available.
Okay,
But down in paragraph 3,
Where
you
it
want to
says
scratch
what we
out student body
yeah,
and put in application there, I think. And then in the next line, scratch out student body again, and then just have it principal, faculty.
I would say faculty and building administration.
Yeah.
As the principal's
Yep.
not, that
Yep.
way you eliminate bias too. You
Mhm.
have 3 or 4 people taking.
all right, I'll make sure.
Yeah.
You're all like, I'm not sure I'm getting this.
It's Tim's fault.
All right, so after capacity to serve, where do you want, each high school, they shall nominate one student from the respective principal selection. So before that, we want to say,
No, I think leave that.
leave that, and then where's the application?
The
part from
principal
it?
selection shall be made from a list of not more than 5 candidates selected by application
By app.
through an
Or
elected
just say 5
process.
applicants,
Yeah, but
or just,
However you want to word that. And
selected
then
from applicants.
yeah,
elected process established through the collaborative efforts by the faculty and building administration
And this is where you said.
at
building-
each high school.
Building principal, I don't know, building administration.
Administration, so that includes principal, vice principals.
And school faculty.
At each high school.
An elected process established in of the, and this was gonna be building administration. Right?
Number 4 seems a little bit redundant. but-
Faculty. And elected, not elected representatives, right? We don't want that.
No, I don't need elected representatives.
Not the door would mention it, but what if one of the schools doesn't want to participate? Do we want to just say it doesn't, it can be either or? like, we want both schools, but if, say,
It's a public school system and this is a whole district and parents will lose their minds
Oh,
if it's only
okay.
happening at one and
well,
not
no,
the
I'm saying,
other.
no, if somebody, if there's no interest at Toby. Say-
Oh,
so you
if
say-
the
say
kids
nobody-
have no
yeah, yeah,
interest.
the kids have no interest.
Well,
The
it is
kids have
what
no
it
interest.
is, I
Yeah, all right.
guess.
So, as long as we
Can't
don't need
make
this.
somebody do it.
Suzanne,
But we're making
all
it available.
Seniors are not interested. Would you, then, would you go to juniors?
Well, no, you go to junior.
You're already
you're-
going to
you're
juniors,
going with-
you
you're
get
going
it.
with juniors.
Okay, all right.
Looks like
Yeah,
it's
so,
juniors.
so I'm just saying, like, if there's no junior.
Rising seniors, as they
Right,
say.
yeah, if there's
This
nobody
is the
from,
first.
from Pilgrim that wants to be a part of this and it's only Tollgate, we're cool with that. Or it doesn't, like, it's,
Why not one single?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it could be though.
I don't know.
In this day and age, I'm Tracy, I don't mean it like,
Oh,
my son's a
trust
senior,
me.
my son's a senior and I can tell you, I've seen a difference between this year than I've seen.
Oh.
So like Keeny Bay, he does not want.
Not
to do
getting
that.
better. I'm kindergarten at first grade and I'm horrified.
Kristen, is the first.
I'm horrified by, I'm horrified by.
Is that how three started, the way you have it?
That's what I was asking. Leave
Yeah,
that,
I
not
know.
leave
I just
that.
hear the story.
We have no future. Let me just put it that way.
So it still doesn't make
We do.
sense. So that's why I
No.
need help with this.
No,
So,
so
Each high
each high school administrative team.
okay,
Along with faculty?
don't mind knowing.
Because you have to have the flow. It starts off as an application, then it
Yeah.
goes to the teachers. Whoever applies, those names go on, let's say, a Google form, and then they're gonna pick.
So maybe we start with teachers in that first sentence on number two.
Yeah, I mean, the high school administrative team will ultimately pick in the end, but we have to put in that it's starting from the student applying and
So
then
what-
moving along to the teachers.
Okay, so we have the
Nominating.
Yeah,
students
so
applying.
faculty should come
So then
before.
maybe, yeah, are we saying faculty or are we saying is faculty?
I think we say, faculty,
Faculty is teachers.
Why don't you just say nomination committee, not to say committee, but.
because then it's gonna make it
That's
look like it's another
Because then you
committee.
gotta create another committee where you can't
I'm
select.
gonna have to add it to that.
No, I would just put it out to every single teacher in a building.
Will-
A school committee, student liaison nominating committee.
All right,
You're in
all
charge of that, Darlene, by the way.
No, hell no.
right, school faculty.
No,
will
I
send out a Google form
nominate-
to every
I like
teacher.
it. I mean,
let them
I
nominate,
respect that, I've
and
been
then
doing this a
weed it
long
out.
time.
We'll vote
Will-
to
okay,
forward
review-
5
review
applicants.
Applicants
Officially.
and
Forward
Forward
5,
five
the top 5 names. However,
We've had
Should we
that
make
in
it
the past.
department heads?
I think you include all
Oh, my
faculty.
goodness.
That's
Yes.
my gut, because
Include
department
them.
heads don't necessarily know.
All right.
Yes,
Every
because
kid.
not
I'm
every
just,
department.
I'm concerned about the amount of names. that
It's
they
an
came up.
easy Google form.
Yeah, all right.
It'll sort
Yes.
for you.
And if-
I don't know,
No one's
Department
gonna
heads
find
don't
it.
really know individually each student and, their capacities of things and, their.
That's
life
fine.
skills.
Just curious,
Simple Google form.
As long as we agree
I
on
don't
the
have-
process,
I don't
Kristen, we can
have
clean up
one
the
of those.
language.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
My
in this moment, you know what I mean?
Yep, no more than 5 applicants, to the building administrative team.
Yes.
Okay. And from there, we can get rid of,
Okay, well, wait a
then
minute.
we can agree to keep.
No, if you do it this way, the way you have it written, school faculty will review applicants. You can't have they will nominate people. They can't review the applicants and wheedle it down to 5. Who's gonna be
Well, how
in
they
charge
pick
of
it
that?
up? Applicants on the Google form.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Yeah, here are the
Here are the names.
10
All right,
kids.
names.
Who do you vote for?
right.
Okay, so
And
they're
then-
not gonna get together and meet and.
No,
select
no,
the
no.
5.
Then it'll just sort
Right.
it.
They'll just,
digitally.
okay,
Yeah,
All right.
it'll hand.
I think
Okay.
those are a lot of good
All right.
questions, but yeah. And
We
they'll-
already do something similar for DAR award and stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
like top 5 vote getters kind of
No
thing.
more than 5 applicants or nominations,
I
nominees.
just don't wanna
whatever.
give it, make
All
it
right,
a
and
job
then-
for anyone.
Shall nominate 1 student from their respective high school to serve in this capacity. Does that next sentence still make somewhat sense in the Well-
Are you on the each high school?
Yeah,
Each high school administrative team.
we'll clean up the mess.
Yeah, to the school committee, maybe, end the sentence with to the school committee, right? You're gonna send that nominee.
To serve in this capacity, right, nominate one student from the respective high school to the school committee, right?
Yeah.
For what purpose? Are they doing interviews?
No, I think, well, that's up to them, but I think
I think we just,
you would trust,
we trust the.
you go through the faculty.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, after all that goes through.
Thank God, have mercy on our soul.
Actually, we're gonna pick
Oh,
number
Mr.
3.
Texas.
All right. And then, so can I now get rid of some of this? The principal selection shall be made.
Yeah,
by-
yeah.
And
Yes.
all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have the school faculty review applicants and send forward no more than 5 applicants to the court. Is that supposed to be nominations?
It said no more
5
than,
nominations.
do we use the word applicants twice?
Yeah. that's
Or do we
fine.
say students, no more than 5 students?
Students, that's fine. That was me putting applicants in. To the building administrator team. Each high school building administration team shall nominate one student.
Should we say at the end of administrative team for a final decision
We're.
on the first
Oh,
sentence?
yeah, for final decision right here.
Yeah,
All right, so we're just striking the principal right out of there, right? It can be a team decision.
Yeah, it's the building administration team that will pick the one.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love this. All right,
And the principals can't be yelled at for being the one that singled out the one shy of that. And the second one didn't get it. It's better to have a team.
all right, now.
Spread the wealth
Now
on
this
the angry
number
parent.
4. Do we
well,
even,
each
so,
high school, hold on a second, each high
Yeah,
school
I think so.
administrative team shall
maybe it should just say
send
building
this nominee
administration.
or send this nominee to the school committee. I don't know. That doesn't sound right, that sentence. I don't
Each
think.
high school administrative team shall select
Interview
one
candidates,
student.
interview
No,
candidates
because
and-
they already
That's
have
what
the
I was
final
wondering.
decision at the end of. You already have that,
Well,
like you
they're
already have the
picking
kid
one,
there. You pick
right?
one, right?
They're picking one, and then you want that one from both schools to go to school committee.
Then
and
maybe
the
we
flow
say
chart.
this nominee shall then be
For
sent to
ratification.
school committee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from both
something
high
like-
schools. The final
Yes.
selection of
Yes.
nominee should be.
For ratification, so there is no,
Each
Because
high
the school
school,
committee officially.
because why go
appoints
through all
the name.
this if we're
or
gonna.
each high school's nominee,
If we're gonna nitpicking.
The name of
We'll
the-
go through it.
each high school's nominee.
The leadership team advances the name of each nominee to the school committee
Yes.
of each high
Oh,
school.
man.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
for-
do think that administrative team maybe should interview.
Yeah, because we're approving it, approval is the right word.
All right.
Well, I think that probably will happen. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna call the
I
5
think
kids
they
in and
probably-
talk to them about it.
Yeah.
nominee.
Yeah.
No.
Because if they're not comfortable
I don't think it's
speaking in
just
front
gonna
of
be-
you, they're not gonna be
Yeah,
comfortable
yeah.
speaking at a school committee meeting.
Yep.
Mhm.
But that's,
All right, will
Will be your protocol as opposed to the policy.
yeah,
be what? Interviewed, sent, name, nominee's name.
submitted to the school committee.
Okay.
I did.
Dylan, how long does it take you to sort to the building from here?
25 minutes, easy.
Really? What if I break laws?
Are you heading to the Sawtooth building?
That's where the meeting was, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 25 minutes from here.
Oh, the Sawtooth building
No, it's your favorite.
For
as
review?
well,
For what?
because the city should
For
have purchased it and
consideration.
rented
For
to
consideration for
AAA
going to
instead of the
school.
other way
Yeah,
around.
you could do that, yeah.
I feel like it's on the,
Or the city should have taken its insurance money from the damaged annex and rebuilt a new annex instead of a skating rink. And then not be paying money to AAA and not be wasting money.
What's the bumper car?
No, but the bumper cars.
All right, let's focus back on this. Number four. Number four, applicants will be reviewed by the superintendent. So this doesn't need to be here,
I don't,
or part of it needs to be here. So the nominees are going to school committee, and then that's where I don't know what's happening. Are we talking to them, or are they just coming?
Oh, the school committee that you've got down here, don't we have down here where the school committee appoints them or something?
Yeah, May.
Yeah, so do we even need number four?
No.
No,
You guys are getting tired, you're like, no.
no,
That's good.
let the building administrative team just pick it. And the
Well,
school
I mean,
committee
you
just.
or you change above, instead of sending it to the school committee, it's sent to the superintendent.
And then.
That
the
way it
school-
follows the chain of command.
Yeah.
That may be
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
The name goes to the superintendent, then
Yeah.
to the,
Each high school nominee will be submitted to the superintendent
Superintendent.
for consideration.
Before seeing school committee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
And then the rest, maybe.
Then that can stay,
Yeah.
reviewed. So it's not applicants, would it be the nominees? Or
Yeah,
applicants?
nominee.
yeah, at
Yeah.
that point, they're a nominee.
All right, and then,
They're the chosen ones.
tell us how you really feel about.
There can be only one. I would.
Oh, so there can be one. Upload it. Okay, then. Student liaison will be appointed by the chair May 31st. Is that, or just? Doesn't
No,
random
that's-
date that, is
No,
that
that's,
okay?
it should, yeah, it needs to be done by the end of the.
Or how about the May meeting? The May school
Well,
committee
that's why
meeting.
they have by May 31st, is the May meeting.
Oh, it
It's a
says
big
by
app,
May
yeah,
30, okay,
it's a
I thought
big-
it said
It'll
on
be,
May
there'll be a
31st.
May meeting in there somewhere.
Yeah.
God knows where.
No, I didn't realize it said by.
Do
I'm
we like
sleepy, it's
this
been a long day.
criteria, or do we want to add anything?
So we want that.
What?
Why?
I feel like we're lagging over there. It's the sound.
No.
Why
Isn't
not May? Every,
May budget
Oh,
meeting?
it is.
We do it during the budget, we do it.
You can't nominate one kid
No,
for the
your budget.
Yeah, we
the
can,
following year.
It's just a lot of.
I'm saying we have to.
Yeah, but high schools graduate. Yeah, high
you-
schools
you wanna
graduate
appoint-
early.
You wanna take care of this.
I don't think you have to.
I'm sorry, it's in my head.
I think you
Sorry.
could simply
Sorry.
say the
Sorry.
qualities of the vision of a graduate,
And
and
scare
you're
my
gonna
head.
encompass everything.
Yeah.
okay.
Word budget is a bad word.
We're doing April.
What?
April.
But makes sense, and it's just. I was being.
It doesn't, do you have anywhere on here where it says they're not voting?
Second year.
members,
It
so
was
that's
bad
beginning,
year.
right?
It was a bad year. Bad month last year.
Oh, got it.
All right, then roles and role and responsibility. The student representative shall be known as the student liaison to the school committee and not a member of the school committee. Number two, the student liaison will be responsible for preparing any needed materials for the meeting. This could include speeches, essay, research, data collection, or speech points. Oh, that means me overtime. Serve a one-year term with a formal appointment to take place at the August school committee meeting. Attend all regular open meeting and complete assignments for research data collection when requested by the school committee. I feel like that's redundant right there, but this might be where we put the language about and not necessarily having to, can be dismissed or like at the discretion of the,
Or it just becomes
Just
the understanding. Do
understanding.
we have to have it
and-
written in a policy?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
Okay.
then if we're announcing in May. Do we need an appointment in August?
Yeah, yeah, because you don't want,
They'll go out for the summer because they, well, they graduate, oh, they're juniors.
the
Okay.
juniors,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you want, you'll run into, I'm on
It's August,
vacation,
yeah.
and this or that, and then the summer.
It
You
seems
might-
like we appoint them in May or June, whatever that date is, and then they just start in September. I think.
Yeah,
Right, they might start, but maybe that's what we say, but do they get appointed in August? And do they start in August?
Or
Or
are
do
they
they get appointed in
appointed?
August, start in September?
Well,
That's
they,
what I'm saying.
Oh.
you're-
It's either one
June
or
in
the
May.
A formal
I
appointment,
understand
I
what you're
meant.
saying.
Yeah, it's done in
Let's
May,
announce
correct?
it.
Yeah,
Yes, I meant
instead of
formal.
appointment, why don't you, meeting, their first meeting will begin in August or whatever,
Or September.
or September.
So rather than saying formal appointment, say first meeting, they'll attend their first meeting in August?
September.
September.
Oh, sorry.
I think we'll lose kids if it's like, okay.
Yeah, you're cutting into our summer.
Mhm.
One term.
Parents.
Beginning with the September school committee meeting. Serve a 1-year term beginning with the September school committee meeting.
Oops. Okay. All regular open meetings and complete assignments, research and data collection when requested by the school committee. How do you feel about that? Okay. It seems the same. That's the little bit. All right. Receive the meeting agenda and other public materials distributed to school committee members in advance of every meeting, except for materials relating to individual students, employees, and other confidential matters exempt from disclosure by law.
Does there need, we need to put anything in there? They do not go to closed session here.
Oh, yeah, that needs to go in there.
Stuff. They are not allowed to attend closed session hearings.
And maybe that they are.
You may also put the word vetted in before public materials, because somebody should be taking a look at,
Yes,
Say that again?
yes,
right?
yes,
The public material should be vetted, like
yes.
vetted, like
Yes.
school committee should be able to say, this one
Yeah.
document.
Yeah, we're
Or
gonna,
you
So
can
add
just
the
say like
word
the open
vetted.
public folder, right? Cause that's,
You could, yeah.
that's really what they write.
Yeah,
they
they're
should
gonna
have.
be used, well, yeah, because the public photo only has.
Yeah,
what
it's
we
public.
instead of adding it there, you could add it to number 4. Because it says attend all regular open meetings and complete
Okay.
assignments. So you can just do attend all regular meetings, open meetings,
Open meeting.
excluding any closed session hearings.
Just put in there, they shall not attend closed session meetings.
You want to sort it too?
Open meetings.
And shall not.
Oh,
Chili.
And
I feel like
And-
just
I live with
excluded.
one of those.
Excluded.
Yeah.
It's rough.
attend all regular open session meetings, excluding closed session
Come close,
hearings.
get away.
Women of a certain age.
Maybe that's another sentence.
Yeah.
This room though was really hot yesterday.
Oh, this whole building yesterday was blazing.
It was in both boilers, they're all blasted. It's hot.
I feel like this, complete assignments for research data, but why is that?
That's
already. there,
That's a
though.
school thing. That's not a.
Student needs
Do they
only
need
one-
to?
Do they need to do
But is
data
it-
collection?
No,
and-
they-
But in number
Research?
2, it mentions that already.
I know,
So I feel like it
Why,
doesn't need to
though?
be there. Well, in case they're asking for a survey, maybe they're gonna help get that done.
Do we have to put that in a policy?
Yeah, I don't know that we need that.
I don't think so either. I think they can, that could be their own thing.
I think as long as there's something like any,
I mean, I'm not gonna
uh,
require them to
any
do that.
prepared speeches or documentation, it needs, the school committee needs to review any prepared.
Yes,
speeches or
that should absolutely be on there.
All right, so this could include speeches, essays, research, data collection that will be reviewed. That would be reviewed.
It's passive
Or
voice,
asked of by
so
the school committee.
make it active and you won't run into problems. Who's doing the reviewing?
Statements will be reviewed by the school committee prior to the meeting. And then number 5, do you want to put?
That scared me.
Go. Receive the meeting agenda. Do you want to put received the vetted meeting agenda? Or
Oh, right here, number 5.
Number
Receive the
5.
Meeting and other vetted, right? God, I thought I put vetted, and I wonder if I put it somewhere else. Maybe it, because all of a sudden, everything, I'm gonna get a mouse.
Is that your mouse right there? Or is that
No,
Reagan's?
all of us done this. All right, so we are. What do you want to do about this right now? Do you feel like we have what we want in here?
Does it include in the policy in there that they will not be able to vote?
yeah, I was thinking that at the beginning that it should be, it does
I thought
mention,
Does it mention it?
it mentions that they're not a member of the school committee.
Yeah,
We can
Um,
add that line.
as
It's not in
such, they should,
I just saw
they
that.
should
in
not
other
be
policy
voting
as
on
That was.
any agenda
clearly
items.
stated.
Is not a member of the school committee, but serves as provides student. And then what's the way they worded it in Mary Ann said?
Well, if they're not a
Student
member of the school
choice.
committee, then they
They
can't
can't
vote
vote.
anyway.
But serves in a non-voting advisory capacity.
Yeah.
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay. That serves. That's right there. Voting. Advisory. Representing the interest of the students of public schools. Okay, I can do that. All right, so the last thing, well, let me ask you, are we feeling like this is, what do we want to do next with this? Do we feel like we have enough to get feedback from? Send it to Andrew, send it to,
Can you share it with all of
Sure.
us? Can you share it with all of us so we can read it over
you bet.
and digest it and maybe make suggestions? And then send it to Andrew.
Well, the suggestions would have to be
Correct,
open to all
non-voting.
review.
Yeah, we'd have to do the suggestions now, but I can send it to you so you can look more close if it's easier. to
Yeah,
read.
because I can't, I
I
want to
can
read
imagine.
I just want to read the grammar.
Yeah.
It says non-voting,
Well, that
not
needs a lot of
non-voting.
work, so feel free, go at it.
So if you just share it in a
The
Google
yellow
Doc
line,
to
there you
everybody,
go.
we all have access. We can all go in and wordsmith, as they say,
I'd love a word.
even though it's a jackass word.
Okay, and then it would need, to go to, Teresa by noon tomorrow.
Tell
Well,
your
I think we
boomer
covered
when
all the
you're still using
bases
the
of
word
someone that would be
wordsmith.
concerned.
I'm actually
about
not on
really-
Gen X.
Yeah, and I.
I am
Who's gonna be
not-
concerned?
New
Well,
adventure
like, what would
club
be
chat.
questions that come up
Yes,
that,
I am not a rule.
like Darlene,
Yeah.
you were hesitant, do you feel like this covers some of the concerns that you have? So I'm trying to say, like, what would maybe come up, like, to say, like, this is finished or not?
Oh, I just wanted to read over just to make sure the language, the way it's written, represents what we were discussing today. But I can't see from here, so.
Yeah, I put down there one time, I was like, I don't know how you see.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you take a minute? I think the last thing will not take long, so. rest
That wasn't
assured
the
we
last
will-
thing?
No.
Kristen,
What do you mean? I thought that was the last thing too.
Well, that,
Yes, my God.
no, it's just a matter, I don't wanna interrupt, but I'll be happy to. The last item was just old business. I just want to address
Oh.
that. That was left over from last time, the copy of the policy development. And that's where we put that new language in about the 60 days. But can I omit that is what I'm really just want to make sure you get it. Because we're going to develop a whole other kind of combined policy that So you might remember last time we did this. And this is specifically to policy development. But we put all resolutions and policy requests will be reviewed by the policy subcommittee and actions listed below will be presented to the school committee within 60 days. And then listed that. We did that at the last meeting.
Yeah, I think rather than the 60 days, maybe
At least 90.
timely fashion
Yeah,
or
like vague.
a reasonable time.
My first question though would be like, do we even want, this was an edit we made last time. Do we really want that to be in this
Yeah, no.
one? Or can we wait till we address it in the
Yeah, why
other
don't we
policy?
Yeah,
So
well,
can I go
Yes.
back to the original one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, we don't probably need to put it here. This is when I thought it was just applying to the policy. All right, so do I need to, we didn't do anything with this except edit it here. So I feel like I can just get rid of it. It's not the one that's on it's a copy, so it's done. Okay, right? There's nothing I need to do formally with that because it was just a copy and never went anywhere. All right, just checking. All right, so I'm just gonna do it. Then. All right, and that's it, other than wordsmithing, whatever the word is. But we kind of do need to make sure we're in agreement, and would it be you want it to go on the agenda for a first read? Once we clean it up. That's kind of what I need to do.
I guess if we do a read and make sure there's nothing like we would have missed. Because the
Everybody
first
do.
read is supposed to say it is done, no questions asked, it shouldn't have to come back to us.
Yeah, but that's what the
Well-
first read's all about. Sometimes they cross
Tweak it.
out and tweak it a bit.
They'll ask us to
If
add
the language
more.
is a little off.
I know, but the
Mhm.
perception is the first read means,
Yeah.
we've discussed it, we're like, there's
Oh, yep.
that's the perception,
I think
that the
we're
first read is like,
Yeah.
hey, we don't see anything else.
Yeah.
Same.
But I mean, like grammatical things. That, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I can clean it up tonight. I mean, I'm not the best at the wordsmithing, but I can clean it up as well. So that we can, at least get a first read for the school committee on the agenda. But if you, well, no, we can't make any. Other than just are you just looking at grammar like? that
I
She
wanna-
feels compelled.
I know she,
I feel
That's okay.
compelled because there's a lot of like whatever going on, but I also want to read it from beginning to end to make sure that it does cover everything that needs
You want
to
to
be.
add that special student thrown up on the,
Yeah.
you know,
however,
on
like
the
that's,
stage.
I guess a
Like I
question.
said, the school committee meeting used to be past of thousands up on the
Yeah.
stage. And then it was like, why have everybody up there? There's no need for it. So it's the elected people, your lawyer, the superintendent, and your note taker. That's who you have up there. Any random people, it's not necessary.
But we didn't even say where they're sitting. That's not even in here.
No, I know, but
Oh,
I'm just,
okay.
but when our discussion came up about on the stage or whatever, I don't think.
But I don't know that that's like, because it's not in the policy, that could be something that they
The
decide
school committee
after.
will decide.
Yeah,
how
they'll
they wanna do
decide, but
Yeah,
it. I know.
no, I understand that.
It's a good thing,
I hope
Darlene,
if it
civics.
gets enacted, it goes well, but.
Well, we'll be back here.
I
Alright.
mean, we've tried before. We'll see how it goes. If it sticks or if it doesn't.
So I would
I
say
think it's a good
this,
thing.
my impression would be that nothing major content wise can be changed after that we end tonight, because otherwise it wasn't
I
decided.
think we're in a
I
good
know.
place with
I
it.
think
Yeah.
it's
An S, a period, that's fine,
It's
I
good.
think.
Active
Yeah.
rather than passive voice.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm famous for that, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we can, and then I'll send it for a first read. Okay. Sounds good. All right, so next time we meet, we will kind of dig into that other policy with the resolution and combining and think about eliminating whatever, but that makes sense. All right, you want to close these out?
Yeah,
Do we want to, in between this time and next time, either Michelle or you or whoever, just make sure we have the accurate list of what subcommittees there
Yes, I
are.
wrote that
Yes,
down, so I'm gonna
So
make sure that we
if we're
have
gonna
them.
include them in policy, that
Yeah.
we don't miss anybody.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and do it again.
Maybe. Like, I don't want to end during the meeting.
Second.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.